Hey everyone, 11-1 training log here. Now I didn't record my start of my workout. I actually started with squats, kept them pretty light. I was feeling kind of bad in the knee. I did some squats on Thursday, which would have been the 29th, and wasn't feeling really good, and I actually tripped over my mats due to condensation and some heating and cooling. It had separated. I didn't notice it. I tripped and I fell, messed up my knees. So just wanted to keep it light. Worked up to a set at 365. But you'll notice I'm benching again. Big surprise there, right? And 225 from the side looked pretty good. Put 245 back on there, and I'm a lot happier with how this bar path is looking compared to last week. I am still getting fatigued a lot quicker than I'd like to at 245, but gonna try and keep pushing reps. Still only getting 6 on that, so I'm not really happy there. But one of the things that I decided to do this workout is keep adding weight, so I went up to 275 for triples on this workout. You can see that was definitely a grinder there, and I did get 3 sets of triple at 265 the previous bench workout, so I thought, I'll go up 10, see how that feels. And first set was a little slow. The second set here, again, that third rep's just going up slow. But I had committed. I was going to do 3 sets of 3. So kept 275 on the bar and went for it. First rep's already slow. Second rep's even slower. And third rep I didn't have it. Now you'll see this is how my fail system works. All I have to do is exhale and stop being tight, and it goes on the rack. You can see how graceful getting out from that is. And this is 205 pounds on the bar now. What I wanted to do is some pause off of the chest. It's been a while since I've done those, and obviously I'm having some issues with the tricep blocking out the bench, as you can see from that failure. And these are actually quite challenging, even though it's not as much weight. I say you should try this. Definitely, even though I've got the narrow grip, feeling this in my chest. And then I decided I'm going to go ahead and go down to the bottom and pause really good, see if I can do those. And I was just, nope, I'm done with that. It was very, very challenging. And then I decided that I was going to go ahead and keep the same weight on there and do pin press. So with the pin press, you go down to the pin, leave it down there, let all the tension come off the bar, and then you press it right back up. So it's really working on that pressing power. You have to take the rebound out of the lift to work on just the concentric portion of the lift. And these are actually very difficult. I think I used a little bit too much weight on these for what I want to do after already failing in the workout. You can see, hey look, I got pinned again. And I went ahead and tried it again, but there was no pressing this weight up. But as I said, this is why I like to bench in the power rack. I can do it without a spotter very safely, very comfortably, and other than getting out when you fail. It's a pretty nice system. So I kind of got to twist myself to the side there and roll the bar past me. But enough of that. So on to the fun part of the workout. As I mentioned in my deadlift video, I'm finding that I'm having some weakness in the hip extension. So what I wanted to do here, these are stiff back good mornings. Now the lighting's really bad here, can't really see it, but I have very tight hamstrings, so going down any further than this would require my knees to be fully bent, at which point I'm squatting. But I'm getting as much range of motion as I can, trying to stretch out my hamstrings as much as I can and really work on that hip extension. And so these are actually targeting the hamstrings really well. I could feel a stretch and I could feel the contraction, and I wasn't feeling it in my lower back. That was 225. Went ahead and did another set with 225 here. Went to the front because the lighting was so terrible I couldn't really see what was going on. So you'll see I'm not keeping my legs perfectly straight, but I am keeping them as stiff as I can, minimizing the movement there, trying to keep my upper back tight, keep that from moving. So the entire good morning done this way is focusing on hip extension. The only problem that I have with this is the pulley system is a little bit too close, and every time I bend over I'm getting a pulley wedgie, which is not comfortable. Do not like that. So I'm gonna have to figure out a better way to do these without having that happen. And I went ahead, added a little bit of weight. This is just 245. Don't want to go too heavy on these right away because it is, even though I'm not feeling it in my lower back, it is a lot of strain in the lower back. But I'm, like I said, really feeling this in the hamstrings. I think that this is a great exercise, and this is something that I haven't done a whole lot of, so I'm expecting that this is going to lead to a lot of improvement in the hip extension strength, and definitely help the sticking point in my squat, and definitely help me in the deadlift. So went ahead, and this time I'm actually just doing the good mornings. I took off the hyperextension part, so moving the weight behind my head is only 10 pounds, and it is surprisingly difficult. So just really focusing on getting those hamstrings pulling me up and trying not to swing with my back other than the hip extension at the top where I'm driving the glutes into the pad. So trying to drive my hips through the pad there to work on that hip extension and really target the hamstrings really good. Did 3 sets of this, and I can tell you that it was extremely difficult to keep doing these. You know, I'm trying to push the reps as much as I can here. Have some technical difficulties. This is one of the problems with using used equipment and trying to do things by yourself here. I'm going to have to get some duct tape. I'm just going to have to do it and try and duct tape the pad back to where it should be. But continuing this set, and you can see there, for those of you who don't do this movement, my foot pad's not perfect, but Dave Tate, who is one of the ones who designed a really good GHR, says you're trying to curl your toes under the leg plate, and so I'm really trying to focus on that and get as much hamstring activation, and even uses the calves a little bit. You can see they're working there. Hey, look, I actually have a little bit of calves. Not very much, but like I said, these are a challenge. Definitely feeling it a lot more, even though I went from using a 25-pound plate in front of me to a 10-pound plate behind me. I can tell you right now the 10-pound plate behind me is a lot more difficult. So if you're going to do these, I would say try and do it with a plate behind your head. If that's too heavy, then put your hands behind your head. That makes it just as challenging. And to finish it off, I wanted to go ahead and do 1 set of hyperextensions just to hit the lower back, and this does also work the upper hamstrings and the hip extension. Not really feeling anything in the glutes though, so it's not perfect, but trying to go up there, hold it a little bit at the top. Quad cramp of all things on this set, so had to relax that for a little bit and get back to the set. And again, just trying to hold it for a little bit at the top, not something ridiculous. It's not a pause set. I am going to do some static holds on a different day of the week, but this right here is just focusing on that hip extension, those hamstrings, getting them activated with a little bit of lower back work. And to finish this thing off, you can see it just wrecked there, can't walk away from it yet. I decided to do 2 sets of leg curls. It's only 115 pounds, but the GHRs are a lot easier to do with a bench than they are if you're trying to do them at home without a bench. But it is using your body weight plus a little bit of weight. So me being as heavy as I am, they are quite challenging. I just didn't have much left to do the leg curls. But I can tell you that my hamstrings were wrecked for 3 days after this. This was Sunday, and I wasn't able to squat again until Thursday. So it definitely is hitting the right spots. Alright, that's it. Thanks again for watching and for the support. Have a good one.